Here's a step-by-step process to running profitable Facebook ads for the handbag niche. I'm not gonna waste any time, so let's get right into that. The first thing that we will need to talk about, and I want to ensure that this video is as simple as possible to consume, I broke it down within a couple steps that we'll need to go through. Number one is we need to understand what is actually our offer. Everything starts from the offer itself. A huge myth that I want to debunk about offers is that if most people think that an offer is 10% off or buy one get one for free, that's not what I am talking about. The offer is essentially what I get as a customer in exchange of the money that I pay for your, let's say in our case, for this handbag. If for example I sell this handbag for $200 and my customers perceive that this product is worthwhile $500, now this is what I could consider an irresistible offer, because the value that I get is much higher than the price points that you charge me for. That's the point that we want to get to. So back to our two questions, these are two main things that we need to answer as business owners. What are we actually selling? Not what we think that we sell, but what kind of products do we sell? What kind of category do they fall into? What are those price points that we want to charge for that particular bag? When it comes to the offer and when it comes to this handbag industry, there are three categories, and I would say this is very common for the majority niches. We have a high-end handbag brand where, for example, Louis Vuitton might fall into. Then we have the medium-end, products, and then we have the low-end products. Now, with the price points, usually with the high-end, we'll see that the prices will go above, thousands of dollars. With medium, it's gonna be between $100 to $1,000. And everything that will be lower than $100, we could consider that as low-end handbag store. The thing is that why is this so important, why we should pay so much attention to it, is because the category that you are in will transform drastically the message, the visuals, the website, everything that has to do with promoting your brand and putting your business out there. This literally has a huge impact on how you're going to talk to these people and whether you're going to target the right type of customer. Because think about it, if hypothetically, let's say that we sell medium and handbags, but our message speaks to low ticket buyers, then the moment when we attracted those people to our website, we will have a huge price resistance, which means that usually we'll see a low conversion rate, because those people have this price resistance or any other objections that we just weren't able to tackle simply because our message wasn't matched with the category that we are in. The point that I'm trying to make over here is that the way you talk to a specific category of your customers that you're trying to reach can be completely different from a different category. The way you talk to affluent buyers is going to be very different from talking to people who are looking more for cheaper or more affordable alternatives. And this is precisely why you'll see that most luxury brands, they don't offer that much of a discounts, because it doesn't resonate and it doesn't speak to that audience. That particular customer avatar that is not even looking for discounts, so it doesn't even make sense, and it actually puts them off and it decreases the conversion rate. And the same thing happens on the flip side. If you're trying to sell something that is low ticket and you're trying to put a sophisticated message, again it will not match with the customer avatar that we're trying to reach and that we're trying to attract to our business. Now once we have more clarity on this particular thing, and what you want to do now is you want to go back to your business, you want to go back to your website and see what kind of category your handbag actually fall into. And you do that by looking at your price points, of course. So next thing you want to do, and this is step number 2, is you want to figure out your ideal customer avatar. You see, in this niche, what is important is to figure out what is your customer's current situation and what is their desired situation. Think about like what's the main reason, what's the main like emotional reason somebody would like to purchase a handbag. We need to do is we want to bridge this gap through our creatives and through our message. Between the current and the desired situation of your ideal customer, we have some pain points, some aspirations that they have, and some desires. And we need to ask ourselves two questions as business owners. What do they actually want when they want to purchase your handbag? And why do they want that? We want to go very, very deep into the human psychology and understand what's the main motive of purchasing a handbag. People don't buy because of features. People buy because they want some kind of emotions to gain, and after that they justify with logic. If you skip the emotional part and you don't articulate it through your ads, through your posts, through your website, you're gonna leave a lot of money on the table simply because you are not talking directly to their emotional desires that they are seeking out. Now, this bridge that we're seeing right here between the current situation and the desired situation, as we talked, we have pain points, aspirations, and desires. And maybe your question will be, okay, Archie, but where can I find these pain points, these aspirations, these desires? And my friend, this is gonna sound kind of like boring. However, it is essentially very, very important to have that in place if you want to have a really, really great Facebook advertising campaigns. And that is simply going to boil down to conducting the customer research. And I have a couple tools that I use over and over and over again when I conduct the customer research and I want to find out more of our customers' pain points, aspirations, and desires. So the tools that I usually use is, number one is YouTube reviews. I just go to YouTube and I search for something like handbag review, and what I want to look at is creators, and I want to pay attention to their language, to the problems that they are facing, and to their honest review to that particular handbag. And what I will notice is that some kind of patterns and commonalities when it comes to their language, when it comes to the problems, and when it comes to the desires that they're seeking out. Another platform that I would also recommend going to is Amazon. And at Amazon, what you want to look at is products with a significant amount of reviews, and you want to look at the 3-star reviews and maybe 2-star reviews, because there you'll find out a lot of things that they are complaining, things that are not like going as well as they wanted to, so you could go back and improve actually your product. A lot of marketers and business owners neglect is actually improving the actual product, adding new mechanisms or adding new things, adding new features and benefits that will show how your product is going to be superior than the products that like your competitors are offering. They just believe that by using the ad set budget optimization, or by using only the campaign budget optimization, or by using only this number of ad sets, I'm gonna skyrocket my sales. When at the end of the day, it always comes down to having a great product, having a much more superior product than your competitors. So this is where like the research, this is where we could find out more information of how we can improve our product. And I am talking about specifically looking at these 3 or 2-star reviews to figure out what's wrong and what we can improve within your brand. Another powerful platform is Reddit, where again you could find out a lot of concerns, a lot of pain points that your customers might have, so you could go back and improve your product even further. And the last platform that I use from time to time is Quora. At Quora, again, I see lots of concerns, I see lots of pain points that we go back to. Let's say if we work with a handbag store, we just go ahead and we say that, hey, you know, your like potential customers are facing right now with this problem. Let's ensure that we could handle this objection, we could solve or fix this particular issue, and then promote it through our ads, and, you know, make actually our product much more better in front of our ideal customers. Now, once you conducted the customer research, the next important thing is product positioning. This will all come down to how saturated your market is. So 3 questions, you know, that we have to ask ourselves over here is going to be like this. So do we need just to simply show off of a product, or do we actually need to add some more emotional reasons to increase our conversion rate? Or do we need to create an identity that matches the customer persona? Because ultimately what happens is that how you position your product depends a lot on the market saturation. If hypothetically you have, like, you know, tens if not hundreds of handbag brands out there, and they are much more established, you have to somehow show how you are going to be different. And of course you could do that through different, like, you know, new mechanism where you could show how this product is much more superior. But another thing that I would also recommend doing is picking just one particular niche and talking to that niche over an extended period of time. Why? Because what happens is that usually picking a niche and talking to that niche over an extended period of time, you position yourself as the authority of that niche. So if, for example, let's say we picked the identity and we say throughout all the like marketing message platforms that we are promoting our brand, that this is for women on the go, or this is for the bad and bougie, or this is for classic males. Now, people who see themselves as, let's say, classic males, or people who see as women on the go, or people who see as women that are bad and bougie. Now, what happens is that they can resonate with your brand, with that particular business, and because they don't have like so much more alternative to go for, they will eventually end up doing business with you. What you are doing is simply you are artificially making the competition look smaller just by creating an identity, just by putting this couple of words, you know, by just talking to one single kind of like niche. And in that way, over time, you are resonating and you come across as an authority, as an expert to that niche. But, and here's a huge but, you have to understand that this will take quite some time, because usually even if you niche down, like, you have to understand that you are going to shrink the audience, but that's not the main problem. The main problem is that it will take longer time to reach all of the customers or the potential customers from that kind of category or from that kind of niche. So you have to be very patient with this, but in the long term, it's gonna pay off dividends for a very, 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 very like long time. And as you grow, as your business is getting more and more traction, and you kind of like covered the entire niche, you could move on to the second niche, to the third niche, and to the fourth niche. And as your business is growing, you could go broader and broader and broader. And I've seen this strategy work very, very well, not only for the handbag industry, but for all kind of e-commerce niches that are out there. So I would highly, highly recommend giving it a try. Now, step number 4, it will come down to the copy and visual creation. So we've conducted all the customer research, we've figured out, you know, the problems, we figured out the desires. The next thing is actually rolling out all those copies and all those visuals based on the research that we conducted. Now, a big mistake that business owners make over here is that they create their copies and their visuals without taking the time and finishing the previous steps. They just come up with a creative, they just come up with a message, and then they put it out there and it doesn't work, and they are concerning why it's not performing. It is simply because you didn't like give it enough time to understand ideally your ideal customer and to talk to them in such a way that would resonate with their kind of problems, with the desires that they're seeking out. And after you've done all of this, now the last step is to put it all together and launch the ads on Facebook. As you can see, this is the last step that you want to do. It's not the first one, because like I said, people just go ahead and just throw out all the ads, all the posts, all the videos that they just created, you know, in a matter of a couple of seconds or minutes, whatever, and then they see a low return on net spend. This is exactly why, like, you could see lots of handbag brands out there who are just failing with their Facebook advertising campaigns. Not taking the time on conducting the customer research, making your product more superior, will hurt your business in the long term. When it comes to, you know, putting all these ads in your Facebook Ads Manager, usually the account structure that I keep, you know, I've kept for a very long time, and it keeps bringing us results, is this kind of structure. We have only 3 campaigns. One is going to be a retargeting, where we are going to pretty much put our ads in front of people who are kind of like have heard already about our business. Usually this will include, you know, our website visitors in the last 180 days and all social media engagers, that could be Facebook and Instagram engagers, in the last 365 days. And the reason we do that is because we want to have the broadest audience that we could reach, even with our retargeting audience. I've seen that the broader the audience is, the more scalable that audience will be as well. Another campaign that we use is a prospecting scaling campaign. In the scaling campaign, again, we have only one single ad set, and in that ad set we use a broad audience, or aka an open targeting audience, where we just insert the country where we want to target and reach our customers, and put like the age range between, you know, 18 to all the way up to 65 plus. No interests, no lookalikes, nothing. And all we do is we just put the proven creatives in that particular ad set. And the first campaign is the prospecting testing campaign. Now in that testing campaign, what we do is we have multiple ad sets within that particular, you know, campaign, and in each ad set we use the same, again, broad audience. Open targeting, only like choosing the age and location, and that's it. No interest, no lookalikes. And the reason behind that is very simple. We just want to focus on the things that actually move the needle, and that is the creatives, that is the message, all the things that we've discussed so far. And by doing this, you are reducing all the beliefs that you might think, okay, if, let's say, hypothetically, this ad is not working, maybe it's because of the targeting, maybe it's because of the, you know, attribution setting that I set. Because we are limiting ourselves, you know, we are reducing all the other variables, we now have much more confidence that if an ad is not working, then it's simply because of the creative and because of our message. So we can only concentrate on that, and we could deliver much better results in that case. And before we wrap up here, I want to show you a couple of rules that we follow for the best ad optimization. So the optimization most of the time will happen on the ad level. Another thing is that for testing, the daily budget should be at least like 1x of your average order value. If you sell, you know, your product, your handbag, for, let's say, $100, then in order to get the most efficient kind of data and faster, I would recommend putting a budget of $100 for that particular ad set. And in each ad set, we're gonna have, of course, two free ad creatives. So what we want to do is we want to give enough spend for each creative before we assess and before we make any changes with that particular ad creative. And if you don't spend enough, and you see, you know, after the first day that you're not getting the sales that you're looking for, a lot of people will freak out and they will just turn it off. But because they just didn't give it enough time, they will never know if actually that ad, you know, could be actually a potential, you know, winning ad. Because of that, we want to ensure that we are putting enough budget for each ad set and for each ad creative. Another thing is that we do not turn off ad sets unless all the ads, let's say we have 3 ads within that ad set, are bad. Like if all the 3 ads, they are not working out, we're gonna turn off the entire ad set and we're gonna create a new one with new ad creatives. Otherwise, we'll just turn off the one that is not working and we'll publish another one to test. Another thing is that if the lifetime spend is 1.5 or 2x of our cost per purchase, usually like how much we spend to acquire that person, and there are 0 sales, we have a lot of confidence to just go ahead and turn it off. If the lifetime spend is 3 or 4x of your cost per purchase and there are more than 3 or 4 sales, that's to me a proven sign that ad has potential to be scaled, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna increase the budget. By how much, that will kind of depend on the prices, or like the prices of course that you are selling your products for, but also how fast do you want to scale. If you want to scale much more aggressively, then in that case I could increase the budget even more than 20, 30, 50%. It all depends on the business owner's goals and where they are striving to get their business to. You can also paste the winning ad into the scaling campaign and ensure that you leave the winning ad in the testing campaign until it dies out. Another mistake that business owners make is that they, let's say, they take the winning ad from the testing campaign, they put it in the scaling campaign, and then they turn it off. The problem with that is that you're thinking that you're going to reduce the audience overlap, but because we're using broad audiences and because there are like millions, hundreds of millions of people in that audience, the overlap, rate is going to be very low, but the upside of it, if you have the winning ads both in the testing and in the scaling campaign, you're literally using both the horizontal and the vertical scaling method, which gives you much more room or much more speed on increasing your budget and increasing your overall revenue for your handbag store. Now, if you've been running Facebook ads for some time and now you are looking for delegating your Facebook ads for your handbag brand, I invite you to follow the link below. We actually work with handbag stores and different e-commerce niches that make more than $15,000 per month. If you're in that kind of category and you want to skyrocket your return on ad spend, then ensure to click the link below and schedule a quick appointment with me today. We're gonna talk about your problems and your desires and of course your goals to see whether we are the right fit and whether we can add more value to your handbag store. For now, that was it, and as usual, Archie was here and I am cheering you on.